UFC 315 is this weekend, and for this card, I'll be giving you my full card breakdown. Bilal Muhammad is defending his championship against Jack Della Maddalena. Um, and the big 2025, we are having Bilal Muhammad headline pay-per-views with like four women's fights on the main card. Not saying it's a bad thing. Very excited for them, you know. But anyways, yeah, let's just hop right into the breakdown. Um, Brad Katona starts off our night against Bezcat Alamakin. Bezcat had his famous knockdown in round one against Umar Nurmagomedov. That, my friends were texting me about that. Like my friends who aren't really too into the sport were like telling me about like, wow, Bezcat was knocking down Umar. Umar is a fraud. Even though Bezcat did get dominated for the rest of the fight, but I do think Bezcat Alamakin's good, and he just got a really bad hand in his UFC debut against Umar. I mean, like he was trying his best at getting up. It's just Umar's so good. If you watch that fight back, it's just really fun to watch because it's like Bezcat is scrambling, but it's just like Umar having a almost a perfect performance after that knockdown. And this kid's good. I mean, he has pretty good striking on the feet. I watched like a YouTube video of his like best highlights, and he was, he has solid hands for bantamweight. And Brad Katona, he's just that average bantamweight, small frame, like probably a former wrestler, like from a weird, shitty college. And he's like a Garrett Armfield type. He's like who's another bantamweight with his frame? Uh, Ricky Simone, kind of, but Ricky Simone's kind of more diverse than the average, like only wrestler with pretty mid striking. Kyle Lofgren, another just prime example of the stubby bantamweight. So I'm going Bezcat, Brad Katona. He showed wrestling in the UFC, but like I just trust that Bezcat has, I don't know, upped his game ever since Umar. It's been like a year since he's fought, so I'm just gonna trust in his progression. Anyways, let's move on. Daniel Santos versus Jaylong Lee. I'm gonna go Daniel Santos in this fight. To be honest, I do think Jaylong Lee is pretty mid. He had that loss against Hyder Emil where he just got absolutely ran through like 20 hook combinations straight to the dome. And who was his other performance against that I watched? Sorry, this is a little unprofessional, guys. I'm gonna go, wait. Okay, I guess never mind. It's not letting me see, but yeah, Jaylong Lee, I was just watching him. He's pretty solid on the feet. I think he's probably powerful. He doesn't really throw too much combinations. It's just straight, just really powerful leg kick, straights. Um yeah, but Daniel Santos, to be honest, I think he's a different level of tough. Even if Zhang Long Lee like hurts Daniel Santos early, I think Daniel Santos has proved to be really survivable. He had a weird shaky performance against John Castaneda where he got rocked a bunch and just Homer Simpsoned it out, where his opponent was just gassed after hitting him 60 times consecutively in the head, and Daniel Santos ended up getting the TKO. But ever since then, he fought fuck, my memory's terrible. Okay, we're just gonna. This is embarrassing, guys. Okay, he fought. Okay, you can't expect me to remember Munoz. Like, I don't even know his first name. I couldn't. Daniel Santos hasn't fought in like 2 years, by the way. That's why you haven't heard of him. I think after 2 years, he's gonna be better. He's gonna be rejuvenated. I think he'll get a TKO over Jaylong Lee, who he doesn't leave himself open, but he's just. I don't know. He's really finishable because of just him. I don't know. He doesn't really throw a lot, but it's just I feel like people catch his timing up a lot and are able to counter him and just like throw like a strike before his straight right. And you get. I don't need to explain what counter striking is to you. Hopefully, you understand that. Jesus, I'm shit at this. Anyways, Bruno Silva versus Marc Andre Barrieux. To be honest, I was thinking on this fight. I know Bruno Silva is what is this? He's on a 5 fight loss streak. I mean, I know Marc Andre Barrieux's not doing much better, but I mean, it's just hard to pick someone who's just doing that terrible consistently. But honestly, I know this is crazy. I'm going Bruno Silva. I have no hope in Marc Andre Barrieux. Back in the day, Marc Andre Barrieux was just this guy with a tough chin who was able to get into the inside and just trade blows with you. But then he would eventually just get knocked out. But recently, it's been gruesome watching Marc Andre Barrieux fights. I mean, I thought he was gonna have an okay close fight with Dustin Stolfis, and I know Dustin Stolfis. I'm not gonna try pronouncing his last name again. I know he's pretty good, but to be honest, like Marc-Andre Barrieu, I thought he had the wherewithal to like eat some shots now. Whenever I see him fight, he's putting his chin right on a silver platter just like he used to. But instead of having the wherewithal and like just grit, it's just now his chin's not the same. It's just a paper chin. Bruno Silva, I don't think he has devastating power. I don't think he's really gonna like impose his will too much, but I just think he's gonna be able to trade shots. I think Marc-Andre Barrieu's gonna get rocked at some point. And I think Bruno Silva can wrestle. I think Marc-Andre Barrieu has showed that his wrestling isn't too good. I mean, he's used it a couple times, so I can't really say it isn't too good. But yeah, I have a feeling Bruno Silva is gonna find a shot. I know Bruno Silva has been losing a lot, but it's against good competition, and I just have no hope in Marc-Andre Barrieu. That's kind of my thing in this fight. I'm not really too sure though. I don't know. Bruno Silva's like shit. His Imadov, is that guy's name's fight? That was just a pathetic performance. I mean, it was. I I I don't know why I'm picking Bruno Silva to be honest, but you know, am I picking Bruno Silva? You know, I already explained it all. I can't go back now. Bruno Silva's my pick. Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Urslan. I really wanted to pick Navajo Sterling, or sorry, Ivan Urslan, because I just don't think Navajo Sterling's that good. He kind of looks like a gremlin or the Lord of the Rings like goblin, and he just low output guy from City Kickboxing where they teach him to throw 3 strikes per round. Carlos Ulberg's right now blasting past the light heavyweight division, throwing 5 leg kicks per round. Anyways, I wanted to pick Ivan, but watching him, he's pretty good. But the thing is, he was kind of like or he was kind of grinding these like KSW guys with no chins, and he has a good ability to just get into the inside and land some shots. And he was landing on Ion Kutalaba a little bit, but the thing about Ivan is that he's just really predictable. I just noticed he was just throwing the same like strikes over and over. It wasn't that bad, but he was like throwing a right hook and then another right hook and then left, and it just like all of his shots. It wasn't in sequence. It wasn't like this Israel Adesanya back foot kickboxer. It was just a shitty version of what Ion Kutalaba does. I mean, I just think Ivan is just really hittable, and I just think I don't know. I don't think he's good enough to be able to close the distance and really like get to like Navajo Sterling and like actually rock him. I think Navajo Sterling's just pretty good kickboxer who's just gonna keep him on the outside. Ivan Urslan hasn't really showed an ability other and I mean in his other fights it's just 5 minutes of him either getting knocked out cold or like the other guy. So I mean I think Ivan Urslan just doesn't have the ability to close the distance enough to get to Navajo Sterling. But I also don't think Navajo Sterling's gonna get a finish. I do think no, I don't think he will. I think Ivan Urslan will probably survive to get a decision and stuff because I don't know. I think he'll like eventually gas, and Navajo Sterling will maybe like clinch up with him in the first few rounds and then just like work on him. But yeah, I'm going Navajo Sterling by decision. Next fight, we got Modestus Bukauskas versus Ion Kutalaba. I am going I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Modestus because, to be honest, like I was rewatching a lot of Modestus fights, and I was kind of like wondering, like, why doesn't this guy get too many knockouts? I know he got a knockout in his last fight, but other than that, he was going to a decision with the Prachnio guy who has glass hands, and Prachnio rocked him with the head kick. He got knocked out by Vitor Petrino, who hasn't really shown to be too good of a win recently, and I just wasn't really like I don't know. I wasn't too impressed, but I think like all of his opponents have in common where they keep it pretty reserved and they keep it like on the outside where they're not gonna take too many risks. And Modestus was still landing bombs even against these guys. And in his last fight against I forgot his name, Raquel, like whatever, the guy who like was probably had the worst UFC career in UFC history. Um, he just landed consistent shots, and when that guy opened up a little bit, Modestus landed on it. I'm just gonna trust that Modestus, when he has someone who's running at him, who's doing the Ion Kutalaba special with his weird hooks, or not weird hooks, they're not weird. It's just his head's on the center line with no head movement. There's no technicalness to his striking. It's just running at you. I mean, he has a couple good moments of him like being able to mix a takedown and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like Modestus has proven to have like a good ground game. Yeah, I just feel like Ion Kutsulaba is too wild. Modestus is gonna find a shot, will TKO Ion Kutsulaba. I'm gonna say round two. Round one. I'm gonna say round one. Yeah, Ion Kutsulaba. He needs someone who doesn't have like Ion Kutsulaba. He can hang in there, but it's just Modestus has like actual power. Like Ivan Urslan, fine, like he's knocked out a couple people, but I mean, a lot of the shots like Ivan Urslan was like landing on like Ion Kutsulaba were just like kind of like exchanges on the feet where they were like flying hooks, and then like maybe one would hit after him getting hit 3 times. And yeah, I feel like Modestus Bukauskas is technical enough to like get out of the way of a punch. You get it. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on. Jessica Andrade versus Yasmin Yazdudavicius. I'm going Yasmin because Jessica Andrade has shown countless times to not have ability to stop a takedown. She's getting older, and I've noticed she's kind of losing her edge. She's kind of getting into her grandma state. Look at her, like she's already has the mean mug of a grandma who like is about to like go out there and yell at you for like being too loud or something. Yeah, Jasmine. I mean, if Aaron Blanchfield is taking you down, I feel like I feel like Jasmine Jazuda Vicious can. So yeah, that's my prediction for that. I'm going Yasmin by sub. No, I'm going by decision. Yeah, decision. Actually, I'm going submission. Yasmin Jazuda Vicious. I honestly think. I mean, if Aaron Blanchfield is submitting you, if I don't know. Jessica Andrade has just been finishable recently. Like Yao Jianan found Jesus. Yao Jianan finished her, and some other people finished her. So yeah, I'm going Yasmin. Yes, Duda Vicious. Let's move on. Charles Radke versus Mike Mallet. I'm going Charles Radke. I know Mike Mallet. I know like he only had that one hiccup against Neil Magny, but to be honest, I just feel he's kind of Mike Mallet is the best. He's just an average. Like Mike Mallet is just like how can I describe it? He's like Emmett from the Lego movie, bro. He's just an ordinary average guy, average construction worker going to work, but he's like I don't know, he's the best of what he can be. And the thing is, it's just he's not he's not fat. His hand speed's pretty like every single time I watch him, I kind of notice how his boxing is just way slower than his opponents, but he makes it work because when he used to fight before the Trevin Giles fight and before the Neil Magny catastrophe, he used to be able to just lift his knee and then like go back on the back foot, then throw a kick and then go back, switch stances, lift his knee again, go with a head kick, or then like he would just be really dynamic with what he had. And even though he was slow, he would be able to mix it up so well that you would really have no clue what was going on. And then eventually you would just get hit over and over. That's what happened to Neil Magny, who, like, to be honest, was first of all able to come back and win that fight. And that's Neil Magny. And then second of all, he Jesus. Neil Magny also just completely ran through him on the ground after. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I got to give him more credit for that. Neil Magny just had a last second spree where he just knocked him out. And it was good, and Mike Mallet was finished, but I mean, it was just worst possible scenario, and good on Neil Magny for capitalizing. But anyways, I'm going Charles Radke because his hand speed is way quicker. I think he'll be able to land a knockout blow. Charles Radke is proven to have knockout power in his hands. Gilbert Urbina fight knocked him out. His last fight, fucking Sebelsberger. I know these guys are all really open and they don't have the boxing defense as Mike Mallet, but to be honest, I feel like Mike Mallet, if he even tries to counter, I feel like Charles Radke can throw 3 hooks before Mike Mallet even like throws a punch like after. So yeah, I think Charles Radke will just like swallow him up with his pace, just push it until getting a second round TKO. I just think Mike Mallet is pretty slow. I think he's pretty ordinary dude, and I think he did the best he could, but it's just not going to work out. Anyways, Benoit Saint Denis versus Kyle Propelek. Now, if you guys didn't know about Kyle Propelek, let me tell you, an absolute demon, an absolute Canadian phenom on the scene, a young, stouted prospect, 19 wins, 0 losses, 13 by KO. He has unbelievable striking with dynamic leg kicks, spinning back fist, fucking like he has a spinning wheel. I'm lying. Kyle Propelik is a failed UFC and failed. Let me repeat this: Bellator fighter. You failed Bellator, the second leagues. He's back in the UFC because Benoit Saint Denis was a. I have to say he's a pussy who declined a step up in competition against Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot was good on stepping in. Here's Mateusz Rebecki good on staying in. A dangerous prospect. Benoit Saint Denis denied every single person until they were like, fuck it. You want some Canadian dude you can get a comeback win with? And Benoit was like, let's go. I get my ranking spot while getting a win. Benoit Saint Denis knows his level now. Benoit Saint Denis does not want to be a top contender. He doesn't want to challenge himself against the best in the world. He wants to farm wins against short notice opponents who are like 19 and 12. Like, I promise you, this guy is like almost 500 in his record. It is so shit that this is going to be in a main card spot. He's going to get knocked out in the first round, and Benoit Saint Denis is going to look like a world beater, even though he has nothing to, like, he shouldn't get any credit for this win. The fact that you're denying, you're on a 2-fight lose streak, and you get offered Mateusz Gamrot, and you deny, like, this is why I love people like Steve Urseg, like, Ian Gary, like, okay, like, Ian Gary, let's relax, but, like, people who are like just looking to fight the top level competition on short notice at any time. And it was going to be Mateusz Gamrot on short notice, and Benoit Saint Denis is still like way too scared to do that. I don't understand it. Benoit Saint Denis is a coward. I'm going Benoit Saint Denis by finish first round. Alexa Grasso versus Natalie Silva. I'm going Natalie Silva. I know Alexa Grasso has a takedown threat here, but she had a couple takedowns against Valentina where she was able to, like, I don't know, take advantage. I just think Natalie Silva is like too dynamic, and just like I think she's just gonna be able to keep it on the outside with her dynamic kicks. I think Natalie De Silva is underrated boxing wise. I think she'll have more success there than most people expect. And yeah, I think she'll just be floating around, hitting Alexa Grasso with kicks a couple times, maybe exchanging punches where she gets the better. And I feel Grasso might be able to hit a couple takedowns, but I definitely do see Natalie Silva being able to get up and yeah, just do her thing, like kicks, switch it up. Natalie Silva is pretty good, to be honest. Alexa Grasso, even though she is well-rounded, she's just, it's just like she's pretty just okay at everything as a woman. So I'm going Natalie De Silva. She's just gonna be able to outstrike her. And yeah, let's move on. Jose Aldo versus Amin Zahabi. I'm going Jose Aldo. Amin Zahabi's good, but he's just good. Jose Aldo's great. Jose Aldo's like really fast on the feet. He's a really crisp boxer, and no, even if you have the perfect technical ability and you're having the perfect fight, Jose Aldo with his speed and just like grit and just 40-year-old just fucking like old head mentality is just going to be able to get in your face and land something. Amin Zahabi, he doesn't have the power to just hit Aldo with that will like keep him on the back foot, will gain his respect. Amin Zahabi, he's just going to keep it technical this entire time, use good head movement probably, and probably just get caught with a flush Jose Aldo. Like, honestly, I think it might be leg kicks. I think Amin Zahabi is gonna be really tenacious and just go on the outside, try to like just do a little tippity tappity of the head kicks and leg kicks, and just see if he can win that way, just like being a pussy. But I do think Jose Aldo will have a lot of success with his leg kicks. It's just Amin Zahabi's like stepping up in competition way too fast. Like, you can't go from fighting Pedro Munoz, who's kind of a one-trick pony, to fighting Jose Aldo, who's like everything you need to be as a champ. Jose Aldo could be still fighting. Like, if Jose Aldo just had a couple more decisions work out for him that like were bullshit, he could be fighting top-level guys in number one contenders fights right now. But now he's fighting Amin Zahabi, who no one knows, and no one will know because he's not really that good. He's technical. I think he'll probably land a couple times, but he'll just get overwhelmed. He's not fast enough, and he's not dynamic enough. He'll get caught up in the bright lights, if you know what I mean. Anyways, Shevchenko versus Fiorot, man. I think I'm going Shevchenko. I am going Shevchenko. Fiorot, I actually was thinking on picking about, or Jesus, I was thinking of picking her for a little bit. I was like, Fiorot, she's really big for the division. She was not getting taken down by Erin Blanchfield. She was, I don't know, she was landing some shots, and I don't know, I think she'll just be able to outstrike her. But Valentina Shevchenko, you have to pick the full package. And the thing, my argument for Shevchenko is that she hasn't missed a beat with her speed. I know she's like, what, 36 or something? She's like, what? They don't tell you? Okay. I guess we're left in the dark. I think she's like 35, 36. But she's still really fast. Like on the feet, like Alexa Grasso was getting fucking nailed with a bunch of shots. I think Shevchenko is nailed just in the pocket, like putting your head down and just weaving hooks with your eyes closed. And it isn't even like untechnical eyes closed hooks. It's like she'll duck her head like in the pocket and just and I think it just will work against Fiorot. I think Fiorot's good on the feet, but in her last couple fights, she hasn't really shown the same like dynamicism and the same like she's kind of we kind of realized in her past few fights like we used to think she was like this girl who could impose her will, just like throw nice combos and nice kicks, and it would just be devastating power. Where you would have to respect her, you would have to actually like try taking her down, and you couldn't stand there. But I don't think Fiorot has the power to really like make Valentina Shevchenko go, oh shit, I need to start wrestling, or oh shit, I gotta worry. I think Fiorot will land shots. I think she'll like maybe like I think it'll be close. Like I think Fiorot will probably be able to get up from the takedowns and stuff. But I just think Shevchenko is a more reliable pick here. Um, I see it like maybe a what do I see it as? Probably like a hmm, I'd say like a 29-26 Shevchenko. Or four. I don't know if I did the scoring right there. I mean I meant 4 rounds to one. Shevchenko, maybe 3-2 Shevchenko. I just think Fiorot will get taken down and controlled for like a round, and then maybe Fiorot goes out there, wins round two, like outstriking her, and then Shevchenko comes back round three, having her way on the striking and then taking her down, and then I don't know. I think Shevchenko wins. I think she's still got it on the feet, and then Fiorot isn't as good as you think on the feet, anyways. So let's just move on to the final fight. Bilal, remember the name, Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. I'm going Bilal Muhammad. I think Jack Maddalena. To be honest, he is really good. I do think his boxing is solid. I don't think it's as good as everyone's hyping it up to be. I just think Jack Maddalena like relies on his chin a lot. I don't think Bilal Muhammad's just gonna crack him, but a lot of the reason why his like boxing combos look so good is because I don't know. I feel like he. Am I the only one who notices he hangs his like I think his just way he like moves and the way he like throws his punches look really good, and it's really tight and it's really like boxing esque. So a lot of people just kind of like write him off as this crazy boxer who's just gonna have this crazy styling performance on Bilal. I just think Bilal's just able to like I don't know. I don't think Jack Maddalena's head movement is all there. I think he leaves his head open a lot. I think Bilal Muhammad will be able to land a couple times on Jack. And then I don't think Jack Maddalena will be able to shrug off the takedown to Bilal. I think maybe a couple times he'll be able to get back up to his feet and then continue to try and strike. But I just think Bilal Muhammad is just I don't know. He can hold his own on the feet. I know a lot of people are just gonna like write that off, but like I don't know. His pressure against Leon Edwards was really good. I feel like I can trust it now to like I can trust Bilal Muhammad to like hurt his opponent and like push a pace and stuff. And I don't know. Bilal Muhammad I feel like is just gonna overwhelm Jack Della Maddalena. I know Maddalena's good at boxing, and I think he'll gain his respect a couple times, land a couple like gnarly like left hands and stuff, like a couple straights, a couple hooks, where Bilal Muhammad backs up. But then I think Bilal Muhammad's right back in there and just landing a couple shots, like making Jack Maddalena like back up a bit. And I just think Bilal Muhammad's pace will win him this fight. I think he'll be able to get the takedowns. I think Maddalena will. I don't know. I have a feeling Maddalena will like at the beginning be able to get up, but then as the rounds progress, where Bilal Muhammad's just wearing on him, I feel like Maddalena's just gonna like drain a little bit and just succumb to the Bilal Muhammadness, and Bilal Muhammad will win 4-1 decision. I think it'll be pretty clear. I just think Maddalena in this boxing exchanges, I think he leaves himself way too open. His chin's in the air a lot of the times. I know times here's times where he's using this nice little boxing head movement and stuff, but it's a lot of the time just in the pocket, like swinging, and he uses his range well. He's able to just like bob in and out pretty well, which I like. But I just think Bilal Muhammad will kind of bury him in just the cardio department. And yeah, Jack Maddalena is good. What does that mean? Yeah, Jack Maddalena is good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just feel him. I know the Craig Jones stuff. He submitted Craig Jones or whatever, but I don't know. I just have a feeling, man. Maddalena, Kevin Holland was like having a really close like striking match with you. I know Kevin Holland's good, but I don't know. I feel like if Kevin Holland's able to like weave the storm a little bit. I know Gilbert Burns got KO'd in the third round, but he was having a little bit of success on the feet. I know he was mostly keeping it on the floor, but he was still having some success on the feet against Jack Della Maddalena. I feel like whenever Jack has to think of a different thing or think of like maybe a takedown threat, I don't think he'll be able to have the same success boxing wise, like the freeness against Randy Brown, where he's just able to just do whatever he wants and pose his will. He's gonna have to like play it in Bilal's way, where he's in his face. Bilal's just, gaining respect. And yeah, that's my prediction. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like the video, all that jazz. See you later.